Hey, boys and girls, special religious episode of Saturday Night at the Atheist on Sunday with Easter bunnies and Maddox in socks. We got a lot of features tonight, but we don't have anybody watching. So I don't know what's going to happen. What do you guys think is going to happen?
I don't know. I mean, this is like the 2020th time or 2021st time, like the Jesus is apparently risen from the dead. You'd kind of think that means, that would mean that the end times are coming according to like Christian doctrine, but apparently not.
Yep. Waiting for him to show up. And I understand, according to Darth Dawkins, he's going to show up in a glowing white robe that, has like radioactive white with a glowing head.
He's had plenty of opportunities.
Yeah.
So what age did they say Jesus died at?
30 something.
30s?
So it hasn't been even 2,000 years completely yet.
Oh, so we have to. No, well, yeah, we got what do we got? Another 14 years, something like that. So.
Well, yeah, remember.
Yep.
A prophecy has to have a timeline, or else it's just you can't falsify it if it never puts like an upper bound on the time limit.
Yeah. So this is slightly political, but have you been following that Matt Getz thing?
Nope, not even familiar with it.
Oh my God, he's a Republican who may be charged with sex trafficking, but they haven't charged.
Oh,
him.
that thing, yeah.
Yeah, but then that guy in Florida, that tax assessor or whatever the fuck he was, that's how they found this congressman's involvement. And when you hear his story, like, okay, I don't know if he was if he gets appointed or if he was elected, but whoever he was, he went and he started making everybody in the county office, tax assessor's office, wear guns. That was his first act. And then he spent like $80,000 of government money on guns, like an arsenal. And then he started creating fake IDs. And like when people would come from other states and turn in their IDs, he would pick them out of the basket before they got shredded, create fake identities. And then he was involved in all kinds of underage sex things. And like, I don't know. The story, I mean, I can't, the story is like something out of a movie. I can't believe it. And then in the process, they found this congressman who was also involved with him. And everybody's in hot water, and it's going to be interesting to see how that one turns out. But Jesus Christ, Republican Party, what are you doing? What are you doing?
You can ask that for like the past 20 years.
But no matter what they do, it doesn't seem like it sticks to them, and that's the other thing that's kind of interesting. So I don't know. Wow.
The Republican Party not taking accountability. Color me color.
Antichrist of the Month Club. Favorite rabbit recipes, yeah. Well, I don't know if you want to cook the bunny. You gotta wait till you tuck the kids in before you cook the bunny.
No, you let the kids cook the bunny. That's the fun part.
Oh yeah, down south you give the kids a rifle and teach them to go hunt. After you collect the eggs, go shoot the damn bunny.
If they're not able to by 2 years old, you've raised your kids wrong.
That's right.
Evening. Sorry, I was dealing with something. But yeah, we're talking about killing bunnies. Do you want to hear a very fucked up story about bunnies or no?
Yeah. What the hell? Saturday Night at the Atheist. Bunny stories or what we're all about.
I mean, hold on. Do you know what stories I'm gonna? Do you know what story I'm gonna mention already? Is that why you sighed?
Oh, I don't know what story you're mentioning.
No. I'm talking about Immutable because because he sighed when I said that. Like,
No, I have a feeling this is probably going to involve something I don't want it to involve, but okay.
Okay,
hold on. Where the fuck is your mind going?
how bad is this bunny story?
Something tells me this involves the furry community of some kind, but I could be
No. Whoa, no. I was gonna talk about something that happened in my childhood involving a bunny. Holy shit.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, well,
Jesus Christ.
They
I
cooked
guess
the
that could
bunny.
be worse.
Okay.
Okay, basically, when I was 2 years old, I watched my grandma kill a rabbit in front of me,
Ooh,
live.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
scarred
that's
me
pretty
up.
hardcore.
That happened to my daughter with a chicken, but I didn't know she was standing behind me.
Like,
But never would have fucking done it. Traumatized.
like it's
the
weird.
kid.
Yeah, like it's weird, right? It's like, for years afterwards, whenever I watch like a TV show, like a movie, they had like a rabbit in it.
Yeah.
I would immediately just know, I know the entire point was to notice the bunny, but it's like I was fixated on that. You know what I mean? Like the movie Donnie Darko, which, by the way, the
Yeah.
original Donnie Darko was a lot better than the sequel, obviously.
There was
You know
a
what I mean?
sequel?
Yeah, it was shit. It was shit involving his sister when she was,
Wow.
when she was older. But yeah, that was interesting.
Did you see her skin the bunny?
I do remember. I do remember the shrieking, the fucking shrieking shriek. Okay, that came out wrong, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's horrible. Yeah, that is a horrible noise. But they skin them like a glove. You pull on the skin, it just comes off like a glove.
What the fuck? What the fuck,
Thank you
Speed?
for the graphic commentary, Speed. Really
Yes.
appreciated it.
Well, we used to trap rabbits. Okay, when I was a kid, when you walked out in the woods,
God,
if you
can
looked
bring-
right to left, you would see 4 rabbits, if not 20. And then this huge flu epidemic hit them, and then they all died. So my uncle would take me out rabbit snaring, which is like really, really bad when it comes to animal cruelty. It's horrible. But he taught me how to snare rabbits when I was a little boy. And they would sell the fur.
Well, that makes sense.
And I fucking hate rabbit meat. I don't like it. Anyway, yeah, well, growing up in Minnesota in the 50s and 60s was sometimes an ugly thing. Glad it's over. So I don't know what we got going tonight. There's so much stupid in that Maddox broadcast last night that we
There
could spend
always is.
3 years
Yeah,
on.
I know.
SFT comes on and starts going on about chromosome 2 again. That was interesting.
Swear to God, he's like in love with chromosome 2. I don't know what the fuck.
And then he always says, and it doesn't make any difference because it doesn't prove evolution. No one said it did, but those guys are obsessed with it because it would disprove evolution, right? If they could.
Look, I know. I talked about this a little bit today, but I couldn't get in a word in edgewise, so I just left. But like what happened yesterday, like I went on there, just trying to talk, but then I was trying to explain something, but then you have like 5 people ganging. Well, okay, I shouldn't say ganging up because that's the wrong way to put it. But like I was trying to explain what would convince me or wouldn't convince me, unless you want to review the part I was in. Then again, it's not very interesting. So whatever.
But, how was it? So you came in at 22, and when did you talk?
Fuck if I remember. I need to go back. But I'm gonna have to get the time set. But I think I was in there for like an hour, maybe 45 minutes.
Yeah,
Like I was trying to answer this question, but because of the stuttering and not being able to answer questions well, I got frustrated. So I was like, yeah, I need to go. because knowing me, it probably would have gotten to a point where I was, it wouldn't have ended well if I stayed. So I just left.
Moina was there.
What was that?
Emery Moina.
I mean, I guess one of these days, if you want to, I don't know. Like it really doesn't matter if you
if
want to
you-
review it or not.
If you made up a name, would you make it? Would you come up with Emery Moyna?
No.
I wouldn't either.
But I will say, I will say that Pine Creek was able to handle them a lot better than me because obviously he knows how to speak better, or well,
Is it just
whatever.
me? I haven't talked with Maddox in a while, nor do I have any intention to. But is it just me, or does he not know how to handle people that are as confident as he is on a topic?
Wait, who? Pine Creek?
Maddox.
Oh, Maddox. Yeah, you're right. But the stream is muted. Just the mute button right there.
Yeah, I know it's muted. I had it muted because
All right.
I was fast forwarding.
So I don't know. So I don't know when I start speaking. So if you want to, I don't know, Zoom, Jesus Christ.
Well, let me see now. What do I have to do? I have to switch sound, or it's gonna fuck up. Really fuck up.
Yep.
Okay. Anybody watch Godzilla?
No, I haven't gotten a chance to go to the movie theaters yet.
Oh, they have it
Well-
on HBO. It's on HBO.
I mean,
I've seen
HBO
it.
Max.
Yeah, last night.
Well, hold on. You're saying HBO Max, or
Yeah.
just HBO the channel?
I didn't know there was a difference anymore. I thought it was only one big purple nightmare.
Well, HBO Max is the Netflix of HBO. Basically, it's a streaming service. Like the only reason I want to get HBO Max is to watch the fourth book of Infinity Train coming out April 15th. Other than that, yeah, I'm very hesitant to have streaming services. Honestly,
Well, they have all the regular HBO stuff on there too. So
Yeah.
last night, I think it was a Saturday night movie. So I don't know. We can see what we got here. We can play a little Maddox.
Was the next person in? I think this is the first time she's been on one of my streams. What's up? Welcome to the show.
yeah. Hey, we've sorry, we've talked before on Wilkin K's channel. How you doing? I really
tried to
hate
change
my
my name a lot.
voice.
He didn't know it was you.
No, he didn't. Foreskin. But I really hate my fucking voice played back.
I always hate my voice too. Really
Yeah,
bad.
it's never.
Everybody hates their voice.
Yeah, I don't know. It makes me sound nasally or whiny. I don't like it.
Yeah, but we're stuck with them. We're stuck
I
with
know.
our voices.
Midnight.
Yeah, midnight. Okay, gotcha. Okay, we're showing. Let me see. Okay, anything you want to share real quick?
Nothing much. I just figured I'd come in and hang out on this wonderful Saturday. Wonderful Saturday night. It's Easter Sunday. Even though I'm not religious, doesn't mean I can't enjoy the holiday.
Very true. Very true. Well, welcome to the show. Amory, what's going on, brother? How are you?
I've got my head above water, so I'm doing okay.
Well, glad to hear that. So you got
Working on a paper and hanging out in the chat tonight, and I may.
Good. It's been a pretty hectic week for me, but yeah, what midnight?
Andrew, yeah, I'm so disappointed in you. I'm so disappointed.
What?
I was
Andrew?
disappointed. Well, yeah, because because we always joke about him, needing an intervention and going on these streams.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he was disappointed with Danny last night too, and Danny came into the stream kind of mad about our disappointment. So
Like I don't know. I don't normally hang out on John's channel, and I was just watching. I was just watching Standing for Truths and Fruit Bat Matt's takedown of scientist Dan's epic. Like it was so bizarre to watch and watch them declare victory over Dan. I don't know. It was just so weird.
yeah. So you were having a conversation with Emery here?
I was having a conversation with basically nearly everybody in the room, actually. But you know what I mean? Speed having a certain view on scientism, and Leo and Immutable, not agreeing with him. I didn't watch the entire. I didn't watch the thing at all.
Oh, did Leo address our scientism talk? Me and Speed talk?
I mean, you can if you want.
Is that what they were talking about?
No, I forget. I think I just brought it up on my own. I don't think that's a. You know what I mean? I forget the context of that. But if you want to,
Okay, I wasn't sure if you were still talking or if that was a stream. So Okay,
No,
let's try
that was a stream. That was a stream.
Let's try it again.
Yes.
So,
No, it was.
Why are you just
Oh,
in Andrew?
It's a joke. It's just a joke.
Has Andrew given into his addiction of interaction with Christians?
Yes. It's all in good fun though. It's fine.
Well, we all know that the Speed of Pudding gang is in need of a 12-step program. Although, okay, so since you guys engage over there all the time, I'm very curious. What's up with the Leophilius and Immutable suck the life out of philosophy
he
or
asked.
whatever the thing was that stream?
Foreskin.
Like, what was that about?
Foreskin. It was, from what I understand. See, he asked. I just remember. Yeah.
Okay. Huh.
That-
That's kind of curious that Maddox is... Oh, wait! Oh, I thought Maddox didn't watch our channel. Huh.
oh, didn't I tell you earlier
that's
in the
curious.
earlier in the week he showed his history on YouTube and it was weather report. Yeah, he watches. So.
Yeah, imagine. I'm so shocked that Maddox watches our content.
Holy shit, he got 16 dislikes.
His videos usually have a high dislike to like ratio, if I'm recalling right.
Yeah. Yep. One of them's me. I was managed to do that when I pop in. Anyway.
And it was about Speed having a certain view on scientism and Leo and Immutable, not agreeing with him. I didn't watch the entire. I didn't watch the thing at all. It's one of those arguments where I'm like, I don't really care right now. Like I'll get to it eventually, but now that's basically what it was.
Okay, yeah, I was wondering what the heck was going on. I saw the title and I'm like, okay, I tuned in for a minute and it was only Immutable and they were like arguing over like chemical states in relation to emotions and stuff. And I was like, okay, this is going to be extraordinarily boring. I'm out of here. I was hoping for a Leophilius Speed.
Insane.
What's that? The
The
projection?
projection is just insane.
Yep. He's not interested in chemical states and things like that anyway. So, I don't know.
Yeah, he is in regards to DNA.
Let's, I think this
Dumpster fire meltdown, to be honest. That's what I was hoping for, but it didn't.
Yeah, look at Sal's face.
It didn't materialize. Sal, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. How are you doing?
Thank you. I just wanted to come by and congratulate you on air without excuse.
Reference that on full suspense point. You don't even understand the point he was making, but you're claiming he's wrong when you don't even know what he's talking about.
Oh, shit.
That's the part that blows my mind. I find so fascinating. It's getting worse and worse, to be honest. For all of us that engage in debate,
Holy shit.
it's like, how many times do I have to repeat this
What does this cat do?
before you will stop giving the same response that clearly
What the fuck?
means you don't comprehend the point?
What is that noise?
It's,
Did you not answer the phone?
Neff, you had some fun with that the other night. So last night. So ladies and gentlemen, it's a sidebar. So I was going to
What the fuck?
do this stream last night. But
Wait,
then
okay.
I started
You
getting a
guys hear
migraine,
me? What happened?
and I was laying in
What's good?
bed listening to the
I don't
debate, and boy, literally made me pass out from boredom. But
Holy shit.
Yeah, John,
I think he triggered Neff because Neff was going on some. He was giving him some what for on a few occasions.
I don't think he really
Speed, Foreskin.
knows much. He doesn't.
Like what? Like whose phone was that? What? Like
That was
I don't
Steve.
remember. Oh,
I
well,
swear to God,
okay.
he needs to learn what a silent feature is on his phone.
Neither do you, because there have been a few times where your phone is rang too. To be
Hey.
fair, so has mine, but it's like a common feature. But if you want to, go back a little bit because we were talking, you know what I mean. If you want to go back a little bit, if you actually give a shit what Maddox says, if not, we could just continue until
He was
I start
rambling about
talking.
Okay, hold on a second.
He-
If my fucking phone rang and the cat ran across the keyboard, and I ended up with 3 black screens.
Damn.
And yeah, and I couldn't control anything. So that's
Wow.
what happened. So instead of reaching for the phone, I was trying desperately to find my fucking screen so I could mute. It's like, damn, that cat. I'm gonna have to kill that cat again.
Yeah, Maddox was going on about like how people keep giving the same objections to his and Neff's argument, which I could say perhaps like that my objections may not be the best in the world, but there has to come a point in time where you say like, okay, it's either the fault of the person making the argument or it's the fault of the responder. And if the person giving you the response has explained the response and you haven't updated your argument, There seems to be an issue there.
Yeah, do you guys Midnight, is there anything that we should go over here of yours, or what
I
do you want?
mean, like I don't know, like you know what? There was a point where Danny came in and actually explained, I forget how he put it, but I was like, holy shit!
Oh, yeah.
I wind up agreeing with. I actually agree with Danny.
Yeah,
If you
I
want to
just don't
summarize it.
understand why the resurrection would prove God. I just
Well,
don't.
no. They at one point they were asking me what would convince me, but then
Right, yeah.
I was trying to go into explaining that even if an entity were to appear before me and say it's God, I would be like, well, okay, how the fuck do I know that it's actually God and not just
Yeah,
some?
yeah. That's
You know what I
essentially
mean?
what I was trying to say, that like no, whether resurrection or seeing the lights or having like a feeling, like I think, why would that ever necessarily imply divine intervention? It just doesn't. So you're kind of just stuck there. Okay, I don't know what explains it, so you can remain agnostic, or you can choose one irrationally.
I mean,
Well, that kind of brings the question, though, and this is a common objection like I bring to agnostics, is there a particular like observation you'd expect to have of like the particular Christian God, like to accept, like to change from being agnostic to theist, or
Are
know.
you critical of agnosticism?
No, I'm critical of I'm critical of the branch of agnosticism that kind of claim that's kind of like perpetually like not knowing, and
Oh,
they
like we
use
can't know or something.
that's
Okay,
kind of
okay.
saying like,
Yeah.
oh, you could never know, like no matter what observation
Yeah,
or
I'm
what,
critical of that. I'm actually very critical of that myself. So.
because it's like, well, I understand where they're coming from, but it's a matter of you got to find something like some way or another to be able to sway you from saying I don't know to, yeah, all right, that's sufficient. Like it may not be perfect, but that meets a sufficient criteria.
You don't think it's fair for somebody who just doesn't care?
Yeah, but they're making the claim that they can't know.
What's that?
I thought Mutable was talking about the people that.
Oh yeah, they can't know. Yeah,
can't know what, that God
whether
exists?
God exists or
God
not.
exists or not.
Like
Okay.
anybody that's a theist, like that kind of agnosticism would render theism and atheism to be irrational.
Yeah.
Well, the way I've heard that responded to, though, is that if you can't know something exists, you're better off believing, like within the default towards like accepting the negation.
Oh, I don't think there's a default view, but
So you disagree with like Dillahunty when he says like the default view is like to kind of tend toward negation, like
I
to
mean,
say
I think
that
if there's like a sociological, psychological default that's explained by our environment, but that's just it. The idea is that there are no laws of environment, so you could be in an environment where people, quote unquote, default to theism. But in terms of the proposition or that belief in itself, it's not going to, like, people are not going to defaultly.
Well, if you weren't raised in like a home that had Christianity at all, you'd kind of have that default view unless you run into somebody that argued with you about it. But I mean, if you lived in America, it'd be kind of hard to make the case that you never heard of it. But
I mean, look, I guess if it depends. Like, I feel like a concept of mind, other minds, we're gonna have such a concept, and I don't see why we would defaultly come to like.
Why would it default to the belief?
I just don't. I guess I'm just rejecting the notion of default beliefs outside of our culture.
By
the way, welcome, Leo.
You don't think there's a notion of like default beliefs like within like propositional logic?
Well, there's beliefs that are constitutive of agency. Okay, those are not only default, but they're necessary. They're like, to be an agent, you have to have a concept of truth, right? That's you. So you're, if you want to call that's a sense of essence or nature or necessity, right? But I thought we're talking about like these default views about how the world is, like whether
right.
Yeah, I don't know. I was like 8 years old, I think, when my mom was taking me to church, and I asked her to stop. And they didn't talk a lot about belief, and I don't remember having any. I never really questioned that other people, whether they believed in God or not. It wasn't on my radar. It was like
Hmm.
there were some Christian guys. You know, it was almost like there were some people that lived on Maple Street, and there were some people that lived on Jones Street, and we lived on Jones. And we, you know, people on Maple went to church every Sunday, but I don't think I ever thought about belief until I was at least probably 13 years old, or, you know, 12, 13, and started getting into philosophy. So it never really occurred to me. So it was kind of a default position just not to go to church. And it's like, you know, I don't care what you guys do. We're not doing this, you know. So that was kind of it. But
Yeah,
I mean,
like someone might not come. Go ahead.
when you're really young, I don't know if you even grapple with it, you know, if you're not raised in a Christian, you know, really strongly Christian home. And my mom was sort of a social church goer, you know, so my dad.
I'm just saying that it's not like that's not like a feature of like human psychology. I think that's just a feature of your environment, right? So if you're like in an environment in which wouldn't inspire the belief that there are other minds outside of like animal ones or organisms, right?
Wait,
Then-
wait, hold on. Repeat that again, because I'm zoning out, doing a million other things. What doesn't involve psychology?
I'm just saying that like what explains someone's like, I guess, belief in God, coming to the belief, whether it's default or not, is going to be like cultural, environmental, right? Because there might be this sort of environments that inspire beliefs about other minds outside of organism minds.
Right, but
What
doesn't that
now?
also hold on? Right, but doesn't that also involve psychology?
Well, I'm
Because
saying that it's not going to be like a psychological default. This belief. It's not like an essential belief, right? That or an essential fact about humans. It's going to be a fact about in the environments, right?
Yeah, but theory of mind is not about environment. It's about being a mammal with a certain social.
Yeah, but that's a little bit
Interaction.
gibberish, right? The point is that if you understand a mind as a point of view, right? What's being viewed, that which is being viewed, influences the point of view.
I mean, okay, as much as this is interesting, can we not talk about how John Maddox and everyone else misunderstands quantum mechanics? Because the great and powerful Leo is here.
Oh, Leo, did you look at that clip that I sent you?
I'm not great and I'm not powerful, but I wish I was.
Leo, just go with the joke, please.
No, I know you're. I'm just saying.
Did you see that clip I sent you, or the timestamp I sent you, where Maddox?
Yes, I did.
Okay, are you gonna do something about that?
Like make a video?
Oh well, I guess maybe
I'm not gonna make a video. No.
Okay, check into the 3 things he said that
What did Maddox
absolutely
say?
prove.
I mean, honestly, you know what? One of these days, I do want to do it because I'm still interested in quantum mechanics. Obviously I need to refresh my my memory about it. I have a book about it somewhere. Thank God I ordered a fucking bookcase so I can analyze, organize. Jesus.
I don't know.
By the way,
I
hello,
would-
Peter.
Hi, Peter.
No,
Leo,
hold on. I want to make a joke. Leo, sorry, Danny. Do you?
Let me make a joke.
God damn it, Peter! I was gonna make a joke.
Tweet.
Hey, fuck off.
Leo.
Yeah.
Hold on. Do you desire making a tweet? Do you desire including me in a chain that goes on for days?
Wait a
Fuck
minute.
you,
You posted a tweet and you're complaining that the people responding to that tweet did not untag you. You do know that is impossible, right? You can untag everyone except the person who's tweeting if you respond to a tweet.
I don't believe in coincidences.
Damn.
I'm genuinely in a good fucking mood right now. I can't help it.
Well, I can help with that.
You're becoming.
I'm sure you can, but don't.
You're becoming the Danny of Twitter. Untag me.
Fuck you, Peter. Never compare me to Danny again. Seriously.
Just no man.
Okay, Leo.
I'm
I would be very interested if you did a video on each of those items and talked about those experiments.
I didn't really. Maybe I didn't listen full enough, but I just listened to where he said something about a universal wave function requiring like biological consciousness. That was.
He mentioned three new experiments or something, or areas of research that to him are slam dunk observer effect. So And I forget what.
Wait, isn't that in this video that you're showing?
It is. You want to hear it?
Well, I mean, yeah, but if we've got other parts of it that we want to listen to first, we can go ahead and continue with those. But otherwise, yeah.
Okay. Well, we can go to that one because we were going to move to something else anyway. So it's right here. And he maybe I can fast forward a little bit because I think it takes a while. We played a little bit of this afternoon.
Please, for the love of God, tell me he doesn't mention the delayed choice quantum eraser experiment.
He does.
He does mention the quantum eraser. He also mentions the universal wave function.
Okay, let's see if I can find it.
That's where I'm going with this. Shut up.
I mean, he does mention it when I'm there also.
Midnight.
All right, sorry. Go ahead. It's your channel.
I've gone and actually looked at the
Midnight stop
evidence
tweeting.
that would potentially lend itself toward. Right now, first, I'm asking you: have you done any of these things? You haven't seen enough to have any kind of reasonable probability. Is that correct?
I just haven't dug deep enough, John. Help me.
I love that.
Okay, so are these you who are now wanting to run away from the stream right now? That I am even bringing up these rabbit holes.
So what's your question to?
He said even though I'm bringing up these rabbit holes, he's referring to his own arguments as rabbit holes. I caught that before. Anyway.
Okay, so my question is, have you refused to go and look for additional pieces of evidence that would potentially shift the probabilities, given the fact that the arguments are presented very often as being
rejected it?
I said, are you rejecting going for those, looking at those pieces of evidence in terms of your overall conclusion?
Some of it, I'm sure I have, but I'm not exactly. You mentioned a whole bunch of things. Some of them I have, some of them I haven't. But am I willing? Sure.
Okay, so then why are you saying if we go down that rabbit hole, you're going to leave a stream?
Because you want to do it now for an hour?
I mean, we can.
It's already. I've already been here for an hour.
I have a question,
guys. I've been quiet for quite some time. I'm gonna continue.
Can I steelman you and maybe save some time?
I haven't put any forth anything yet, have I?
Or to collapse the wave function that you need an observer. I've heard those things before. Is that what you're talking about?
That's one of many. We're saying,
okay. So I've heard that stuff before. What is
so
there something else?
So why don't we talk? Okay, so are you rejecting or accepting it?
Well, I think there's arguments to be made on both sides of the aisle. I think you're familiar with people who would disagree with.
Of course, I have, and I've also looked at the most recent studies where with the quantum eraser, the dual quantum eraser, delayed choice, and the problems of retrocausality, which actually have led to the conclusion that the observer is necessary. But even if you go into,
do you hear that?
Yes, I did.
Okay, those three things led to the conclusion that the observer is necessary. So he's saying that it's slam dunk. They proved it. You need an observer, or nothing. Anyway, I'm hoping you will enlighten us on those three things.
Yeah. So the first thing I want to read is something from Sean Carroll's website, his personal blog, Preposterous Universe, on the delayed choice quantum eraser experiment. This is a couple paragraphs, so bear with me here, but it's not too long. You and your classmates are right. Your instructor has gotten a little carried away. There's a temptation reinforced by the Copenhagen interpretation to think of an electron as something, quote, with both wave-like and particle-like properties, end quote. If we give into that temptation, it's a short journey to thinking that the electron must behave in either a wave-like way or a particle-like way when it passes through the slits, and in any given experiment, it will be one or the other. And from there, the delayed choice experiment does indeed tend to suggest that information had to go backwards in time to help the electron make its decision. And to be honest, there is a tradition in popular treatments of quantum mechanics to make things seem as mysterious as possible. Suggesting that time travel might be involved somehow is just throwing gasoline on the fire. All of these temptations should be resisted. The electron is simply part of the wave function of the universe. It doesn't make choices about whether to be wave-like or particle-like, but a number of serious researchers and quantum foundations really do take the delayed choice quantum eraser and analogous experiments, which have been successfully performed, by the way, as evidence of retrocausality in nature. Signals traveling backwards in time to influence the past. A form of this experiment was originally proposed by none other than John Wheeler, who envisioned a set of telescopes placed on the opposite side of the screen from the slits, which could detect which slits the electrons went through long after they had passed through. Unlike some later commentators, Wheeler didn't go so far as to suggest retrocausality and knew better than to insist that an electron is either a particle or a wave at all times. So in short, what really happens during something like the delayed choice quantum eraser experiment is just evolution of the wave function. and its structure can change, and you can observe a different structure in the wave function when you measure it along different axes, making it look like particles went back in time and changed some decision that they made when that's not what happened.
Yeah. Yep. I figured it was garbage. I don't know.
Can you post that link into side chat?
Yes,
or
I can.
Private. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a good idea to listen to Sean Carroll's channel if you want to untangle some of this bullshit. So, because he's pretty good at it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So, what you're saying is the Copenhagen interpretation is misguided, if I understood you correctly.
Well, that would be Sean Carroll's personal opinion.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And I think that there's something.
Okay, what is the Copenhagen interpretation really about?
It's just a particular way of understanding what's happening in quantum mechanics.
Yeah, but what does it claim? It doesn't claim that you have to have an observer for an interaction to happen.
So much that it claims anything, as it is that there are certain postulates that you utilize when you use the Copenhagen interpretation that you don't in other potential.
Right. Yeah, and it's kind of like all about math, isn't it? Sort of
in a sense, yeah. And I don't know enough I don't really know what those postulates are right off the top of my head, but obviously they are different.
Okay. So there's some other stuff here. I thought, is it Codon? Codon.
I would be interested to know what papers Maddox is citing this information from, because I'm pretty sure I've already read them.
I think he's got a few of them in his for annoying people directory. I think I did. I looked at a few of them. I could check. Let's see. Okay, there's Danny. There's biosemiotics. Okay, but where's Codon? Okay, then he goes to. So there's something right here. I think I should play, but I'll see.
The one such as biosemiotics that Neff was referring to. Have you gone down those rabbit holes?
No, I haven't gone down that specific one, but my guess is that.
Why is he calling these things rabbit holes? What does he mean by rabbit hole?
In this case, I actually do agree with him that biosemiotics is a rabbit hole, because I've read several biosemiotics papers and I don't understand what the fucking point is.
Yeah, but that isn't. He's all about biosemiotics, so he thinks it's a positive thing because he believes biosemiotics just slam dunk proves God.
But I think he thinks it's too much commitment for the whole stream would be dedicated. Could in principle be dedicated to.
Maybe that's what he means, but I don't know. He's calling them rabbit holes.
That's not why Nephilim is a Christian.
That's not the point. That's not the point I'm asking. I was asking.
I know, but it's a huge.
No.
Is this why you're a Christian?
We're not talking about Neff. Hey, everybody, shut up! I'm talking right now. Just be quiet. Good grief. The interruptions are really obnoxious. Okay, now we're not talking about Neff. We're talking about you. Mm-hmm. So, for you, have you pursued any of these things?
Which things?
Things like biosemiotics, the need for a universal wave function, or first cause. Any of those things.
Okay.
So data values
We'll
can
go
assign
on here.
themselves in a quaternary code base.
Okay, here's where he starts talking about code.
Data values can assign themselves in a quaternary code base.
What is the point of that question?
Do you think that? Are you familiar with ASCII?
No. Well, yeah. Well, the computer code.
Do you know what ASCII is? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think the values that
is this why you're a Christian, John? Be honest.
We're not talking about me. We're talking about you. Have you pursued? No. Answer the question. Could the values for ASCII between binary and English alphabet, for example, could those values assign themselves?
Why does he have to use?
I'm just going to answer. I don't know from this point on because it's not worth it.
So you think that 0100001 could be some?
Okay, he's wrong about that. Hang on a second. 01001.
He hasn't finished a statement.
Why are these people always using man-made things to prove a god?
You gotta wonder.
And anyone know? I mean,
no. I mean,
apparently
they just don't use very good arguments.
Okay, I'm being pedantic as fuck, but it's 001000001. It is not 001, which he keeps saying over and over again. It drives me fucking crazy. ASCII 41 is
nobody cares.
I mean,
know,
that's not being pedantic. That's just being, that's just correcting. Like,
well, if you're claiming to be a fucking programmer, you should be able to say binary right.
Well, I agree.
If you're going to say binary, do it right. I mean, And he does it over and over and over again. He has ever since he got on. He didn't. Oh my God, what an asshole! Anyway, it's just a personal, professional thing. Sorry.
How arbitrarily, magically make itself be equal to A?
I don't know.
So you think that codes can create themselves?
I didn't say that.
I'm asking you. Do you think
I don't know.
So you don't know. So do you think that the Morse code could have created itself?
I don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a person who thinks he should be taken seriously.
No.
Who thinks that Morse code?
John.
Okay, so how do you frame what he's doing here with, okay, he goes out and he picks out Morse code, which is something we know that human beings created. And then he refers back, and what he's really talking about is the 1.7% of the genome that it codes for DNA. So that's what he's referring to. But we know a ton about how that system actually evolved. I have been looking into it, and the more I look into it, the more we know about how that system evolved, and particularly the ribosome. So what is he? And he presents it like he doesn't even. I don't know what the fuck. He doesn't tell you any more than it's a code, and we have human codes. Therefore, God had to do it. How do you penetrate that kind of a haystack of thinking? I don't get it. Maybe Danny could help us out, and explain what he's doing. I mean,
I think I've already been over this, right?
What's that?
I think I've been over this. I mean, the point is that they take things like codes to be designed, like those, like the ones that we create, right? That by definition are designed. They see certain analogs in nature, and then they want to make an inference that therefore those things are designed.
Right, that inference is not made, but they insist it is.
Yeah, I think that where I completely lose them is that they're talking necessity. I just don't see necessity. I don't. Yeah. It doesn't. The idea of an inference is that there is some kind of guarantee of the conclusion, but I don't see the conclusion being guaranteed in the premises. It's just not a. It's actually. I think if you formalize the argument is well, I think it's invalid, but it's like because it's an inductive argument, right? At best, it's an inductive argument, and that's not going to get you necessity. Sorry.
Yeah, and it just drives me nuts that his whole channel is founded on it is logical, plausible, and probable to believe in God because of the code and because of what he refers to as biosemiotics and information in DNA. And yeah, immutable, you're right. I still have to figure out what the fuck they're doing with biosemiotics. There are some people that have done some stuff with, you see, Pierce, Charles Sanders Pierce, he got deeply into biosemiotics, but he did it about human communication, I think, mostly. And he had a bunch of different like icons and things like that. And the thing is, but Pierce had like these overlapping triangles where one system would become the signal of the other system. And they have done some work in enzymes where they've used that triad, it's a triangle. And they've done some work with these multiple signaling pathways. But I'll be fucked if I can find anything that's really good or any really good results that they've come up with. But they must have been. A lot of really intelligent people are working on this right now.
So essentially what they're doing is they're trying to study enzymatic networks as being like dynamic networks.
Well, it's being that triangle relationship where you have the triangle relationship is called a sign, and then you have the interpretant, I think it is, and okay, you have the thing that is interpreted. The what the hell would that be? That would be the signal. So you'd have a signal, and then you have an interpretant which interprets it, and then you have the object, the thing that happens as a result of that interpretation. So they put together, and it's a triangular relationship. And the point they're making is that it is not a simple causal relationship. It is it's definitely physically causal, but it's not you have to consider the whole triangle at once. And it's a different, they're trying to form a different way of thinking about hierarchies in biological systems. But it's all very arcane, and they write too many words and they have too little results, so it's really hard to read. But anyway, it's exciting. It's fun to read, or it's fun to think about and hope for. But I haven't seen a lot of good work on it yet. I've got about 50 papers on it, and I haven't looked at them all. So anyway.
You should go to 3, unless you're done with that clip. I don't know if...
Yeah, we're done. We're done.
Go to 3:35:38.
3:37:16 I got marked for some reason.
3:35:38, I thought. Yeah, 3:35:38. Yeah, something like that.
Pine Creek, not only Pine Creek, but a lot of people, a lot of atheists.
3:35
like
you said? I'm sorry.
3:35:38. Yeah.
Okay, I got it marked. It's called...
I'm going to take off too, John. Thanks for having me on. Congrats on your 13.
Around the 38 mark.
Yeah, congrats. Hope all you guys have a great Resurrection Sunday.
Appreciate it.
He is risen.
I agree. Have a good night, man.
He is risen.
Congrats on calling out Pine Creek.
It was definitely interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so Danny, you're of the people that are left, at least from our perspective, you're probably less biased. So what is your overall assessment of the interesting dumpster fire that has been this party?
Well, to be honest, I think my opinion of Pine Creek went up. I think he was pretty respectful. I think he didn't try to obstruct or overtalk anyone. I think that some of his questions were sincere, and now there are things, of course, that I think he was wrong about, and I think that he focuses on he likes talking about how people come to belief. He's less interested in whether a belief is justified, and that to me, the latter is much more interesting, obviously, and I think that's what most people are interested in. But when he does the kind of the psychology,
God, I'm just the opposite, Danny. I'm really interested in how people come to believe and how that. I'm most interested in their personal relationship with God. That's the most interesting thing to me.
Yeah, I don't have anything against that. I'm just saying I'm different.
Yeah,
I'm different. Yeah, I'm different.
But yeah, the point is that I wanted to express that I think Pine Creek was a bit mistreated. I'm not going to say who. I think LPP was fine, so it's not LPP. But I don't know. It's just he handles the preachers very well. That's one thing I can't stand. It makes me want to leave the stream.
Who's texting on their phone?
I am.
Dude, I can literally hear the noise it makes when you send the message. What the?
Talking to my sister.
No, that's all good. I just
hear your phone go off.
We can literally sit here, and every time you hit a letter, we can hear the.
We hear the little.
Oh, the little clinking. Jesus, guy.
Yeah, but long story short, long story short, yeah, I think that I hate one of the things when I want to talk about philosophy and arguments and evidence and all of that. The last thing I want to have happen is someone preaching to me, and it's just so cringe, and I'm not interested in that. And engage with what I'm saying, please, right? And so I think Pine Creek does a pretty good job against the preachers, and I don't think LPP was preaching there, so I'm not calling out LPP, but there were other people in the stream that just wanted to preach, man, and I just made me want to mute them.
Yeah, Sunflower and what's the other one? He was on earlier. He seemed a little preachy, so.
I don't know what's up with Sunflower. I haven't seen him around too much, but usually he's a nice guy.
Yeah, but he
is unless he's in a Christian room. Then he's kind of a dick.
Can be a little abrasive.
I know. It's kind of weird.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah, so I don't know what else we have here. SFT makes dumb. I don't know.
It's kind of surprising to me that nobody has really kind of tried to make a response towards Leo's videos on cosmology and quantum mechanics so far, because they like to claim that we're just so fucking wrong on science.
I don't even think they watch up, to be honest.
I don't think anyone can, right? Does anybody we know that could actually challenge Leo if they don't, presumably the people, there's a lot of agreement amongst physicists anyways, but is there anyone that could or would be interested in challenging Leo on this stuff?
You would think Maddox or Atangelo, because Atangelo is the science extraordinaire.
He's not a physicist, though. He would admit that.
Oh, Atangelo isn't anything, but he likes to think he understands biochemistry and all sorts of stuff better than PhDs do. So I don't think.
But he knows the basics, right? No one knows the basics of quantum mechanics in a way where
I don't even think he understands the basics
of bio. I think he knows. I mean, I guess I take basic biology to be like, what is transcription? What's translation? What's a ribosome? How many nucleotides are there? The difference between DNA and RNA. That to me, I think Otangelo understands all of that.
No. He understands that, from the surface level, but anything underneath, like anything at the molecular level, like molecular biology, they have no understanding at all of what's going on.
The way that I often word it is, I'm willing to grant that all these guys, Otangelo, Quantum John, all of them have, when it comes to things like, and I'm just going to speak broadly on different subjects, biology, physics, chemistry, that stuff, they have at best a high school education, which it's not bad. But when you want to talk about, it's not so much how much you know broadly speaking in a subject when you're talking about something like abiogenesis and the origins of life, or the origins of particular processes that take place in life, or things like that, where you can have a decent broad understanding of a subject, but you need more of a technical understanding that's specialized when you start getting into fields like that. And this is why even certain people who are professors of biology don't really know anything about origins of life, because that's not their specialty. That wasn't an aspect of the subject that they study. And that's the thing that I think it's the case with people like John and Otangelo, is that, I'm fully willing to grant that they have a high school level understanding of the subjects, that they understand the subjects broadly speaking, but they don't have that specialized technical understanding of the particular subjects that they're discussing. And that's evident in the fact that they consistently gloss over all of the nuances that are present in those subjects.
Look, I'm not disagreeing with you. I wouldn't be able to. But you think that John Maddoxon has nothing more than like a high school level understanding of this stuff? Because I didn't get. Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the high school understanding isn't that bad. You're going to understand a decent amount. I mean, it's not. It's a decent amount of education.
Maddox is a little weirder because he gets a paper and he absorbs enough of the paper to be able to sound like he has some new piece of information. So he has the names of it, but it doesn't seem like he really grasps the entire paper or what's happening in the paper. Basically,
they're not trying to.
What they're actually saying.
I don't know if they're not trying to. I may just be the fact that they don't have enough background information to.
Yeah, and why would they want to grasp it, right? Why would they want to grasp the thing that would basically start to make evolution look a little more likely?
Well, the thing is,
so they have no incentive.
The thing is, when they look at a paper, right? Like when Otangelo looks at a paper, by the way he quotes the paper, you can quite obviously see what he's going for. You can see what he's after.
Yeah.
In terms of the argument he's making and the way he's talking about it. But
everything else, they just slide over into that category that evolutionists just want to sin and they want to be atheists and they want their naturalist worldview. So they, like Otangelo today on the stream, he said the rest of the paper was irrelevant. He picked one phrase out of the paper and he said the rest of the paper was irrelevant. The one that he brought to us, that we went over. And that just shows you, I mean, because they're trying to prove something particular, they have no motivation to learn the things that they would learn that would allow them to see that it's a lot more complicated than they think. So,
well, here's the thing, right? It's not irrational to say that something in a paper might be irrelevant or kind of tangential to
what the paper
express overall. Hold on. But the thing is, if you're going to bring that position up, right, you should be able to justify why you think that this portion of the paper isn't related to other parts of the paper in terms of the point it's trying to illustrate.
Yeah,
but that requires you to have read the entire paper. That requires you to have, if not having read the entire paper, enough of a familiarity with the topic to know why this part should be here, why this part should not be here. Right? It requires like critically analyzing the minutia of the paper. But
I mean, they have a lot emotionally invested in this. So I'm saying when they read the papers, they almost can't afford to actually see what's going on. So because it would really threaten their young Earth creationism, and I think that's, and I think it's almost fair to allow them to block all that out. But what's unfair is that they go and that they are so absolutely cocky and sure of themselves, and they judge other people, right? I guess that's a little unfair. But I mean, you see what I mean? They have really a lot invested in this, right?
It's fair to try to make an argument like based upon your opinion of a paper, but it doesn't like justify like making presumptions about other people's like branch of knowledge or like what people do and do not know, like in abusing those facts, which a lot of times is what Maddox does. Right? Yeah. He plays around with a person until he finds a point like where that they're not exactly strong on.
Yeah, a paper that they're not familiar with, like what he did with God damn it. What he did on Modern Day Debate with ribosomal pausing, I mean, it was he always finds a paper that a new paper, and that's why he reads a lot. That's why he picks on new papers, because there's a lot of like that quantum spin effect. Okay,
right.
He pulled that out because he knew that almost nobody's heard of the goddamn thing, because it's kind of an arcane bit of research, for homochirality or whatever. And I still haven't figured out how it affects biology in general. I mean, it most certainly has some effect, and it could explain why homochiral molecules were selected for. But I don't understand how ubiquitous it is. Same with ribosomal pausing. I have not yet found enough information to tell us that ribosomal pausing, how many proteins it's important for, right? We know they found one, I think in mammals, and they found a few in bacteria. But that's it. That's all we know. Well, bacteria famously use a lot of a different signaling method for figuring out how to translate a protein. So, but anyway, it comes up with these little obscure things, and it's like, gotcha, because you don't know about this, and you got to go, and then if you ask him for the paper, he absolutely refuses to even give you the name of the paper or the author or the year. He just gets all pissed off at you. And that's where me and him originally had our falling out, is that I kept saying, give me the paper. It's like, I mean, you can go Google it, but God, you still don't know which paper he is looking at. And that is really an unfair tactic in debates or arguments. So,
well, and this is why I've said to people, I will debate a person, but the condition I have on that is that, like, several weeks before the debate, we send each other all the papers and all the source material that's being used and that'll be presented like in the course of the debate, because I want the person to know like my argument, and what the sources I'm drawing on, and I want to know the sources they're drawing on, so that when we get to like the discussion portion of a paper, right, we don't have to worry about like, oh, where did you get that paper from? Or, oh, are you sure that paper is credible or something like that? I don't want to play that game.
That's exactly why I don't debate empirical stuff. I won't do it because it becomes the game that that Speed hates playing, right? Where I have to read the paper, I have to investigate the sources, and it's just usually not one paper. Right? I just grant them. I grant them any empirical thing they want. And then but some people like doing all that investigation and all those paper readings, but that's just to say they like empirical debates. I can't stand them because of what Speed just said.
Well, the thing is, I can take whatever a creationist says at face value and just simply ask the question. Okay, fine. For the sake of argument, I'll accept that the source is valid. That's fine. how does that demonstrate your God existing? How does that demonstrate?
That's what I'm saying. I don't need to read the papers to do that. I can grant.
Yeah,
anything.
you want to have a different discussion than I do, perhaps.
Right. Which is frustrating because for me it's a lot easier than what Speed is interested in. Like I can just rely on inferences and a priori reasoning, but all that paper stuff, that's all a posteriori stuff, and that requires a lot of investigation, a lot of paper reading, a lot of. I can't keep up with it. I can't do it.
A lot of the times, I can tell somewhat with what a paper is going to be talking about or doing, like within the abstract of a paper. And part of that is if you're familiar with the field of study enough, you get used to like techniques and understanding how those techniques are going to apply to some study or something like that.
Yeah, but this is the method that they're using. This is what Stanley, Ramat, Maddox, and all of them use. Sal Cordova famously, they come at you with the science, in detail, and in order to counter that, you have to throw science back at them, right? And if you're interested in having a discussion about belief with them, well, then you have to bracket all that and go to a higher level. But I'm not interested in. Well, I am interested in having that discussion too, but they're two different discussions, and they could
they're two different approaches, right?
Well, Standing will avoid talking about his beliefs. I've had him on our show, and I told him up front. I always do a brief intake to line out what our show is about. And I told him that that's what I wanted to talk to him about, and he quickly diverted to evolution and to science, and I could never get him back to talking about his beliefs. So
he won't.
If that happens to me, the only thing I can conclude from that is that his beliefs are probably not important to him, and it's more important to him to argue about stuff that he doesn't know about, instead of defending his God, which I would think would be the more important thing. But hey, well,
I had a conversation with him about sin in heaven. That was the only discussion I had with SFT about whether there could be sin in heaven. But that was in the middle. I was talking to someone else, and then he gave his view. So, but other than that, he kind of sticks with.
I'm curious. I'm curious, Danny. What did he say? Is sin possible in heaven?
I think we did. As far as what I remember, I think it's on his channel, so you can look that up. But all I remember was that there's free will in heaven. That's what he thinks. I forgot. I think I don't want to misrepresent him. But that's all I remember.
You may be correct. He will say there's free will in heaven, but you no longer have the desire to sin.
Something like that,
yeah. Which to me is in direct violation with having free will. If your desire was to sin, then obviously that was removed when you got to heaven. So,
well, I think that's contingent. I probably disagree with you, but I see where you're coming from.
Why would you disagree with that?
Well, I think that what you're saying, if let's say I have a desire to do X, but I have all these other desires as well, and someone plugged up a machine to my brain and whatever, right? Let's say I accept the mind is the brain, whatever, and they removed that belief X. That doesn't mean that I no longer have free will. I just don't have that desire, right? So I think the way that it would work is something.
It would limit your free will, wouldn't it?
It would limit your choice, right? I think there's a distinction between freedom of will and freedom of choice. I don't have the choice to fly and to the moon, but that doesn't violate my free will to drink a sip of this Coke, right? So I think that the way that a Christian typically responds to this is something like God limits your freedom of choice, but not your freedom of will. But then there's a question.
Let me quickly address Standing. Maybe I don't understand it, Standing. You didn't even bother to explain. So there's that. Okay, you were saying, Danny.
Yeah, then the question becomes, why didn't God just limit our choices to just good ones on Earth?
The good question would be, why wouldn't he have removed that particular part from our brain on Earth?
Yeah,
That
that's what I meant. Yeah, that's what I meant. The idea, like, why wouldn't he just limit our choices to only good choices? That's to say, remove all the desires that are problematic.
But usually the answer to that is because you're allowed free will. Well, so if
Yeah,
it's
I don't
not
think that's a
if it's not
satisfactory
limiting, if it's not limiting free will in heaven, then how come it's suddenly limiting free will on Earth?
I totally agree. That's a very good objection. I think that is one of the best objections to the whole free will theodicy is what they call it. That what you just said.
I'm not saying that all theists say the same thing, because I've come across a theist who says we don't have free will. So
it doesn't make any sense to me.
It's the Calvinist approach.
Yeah,
everything's predestined, so you don't have free will.
But they're compatibilists. They think that free will is like compatible with God's determinism, divine determinism.
Not the one that I talked to. So
well, maybe
he's a regular on Amy Newman's channel, and he's actually a really nice guy to talk to.
Yeah, I think I've talked to him before. He's the guy with the it's like
Will Stevens.
Yeah, I talked to him very briefly. I'm not going to correct you. I don't know his views, but I'm just saying generally, Calvinism accepts free will and divine determinism. They think they're compatible.
Yeah, that can't be true.
You don't think so? I mean,
no.
I'm a compatibilist, so I think I was determined and yet I have free will. So I think I'm a compatibilist.
If everything is determined, there's nothing you can will to change things.
Yeah, that's called incompatibilism.
So, but that also means that you do not have free will. You have limited free will.
Well, I guess what you mean by limited, I think what you mean by limited free will is just what I mean by free will.
You can't make a choice that would change the determination that has already been made.
Oh, think of it this way. This is how I think of it. Like if I see a cake and I form the desire to eat it, that's not intentional. That was determined, right? Because the cake kind of like caused me to want it. But if then I reached out for it and cut a slice, I caused that. So that's my freedom. That's compatible.
Yes, but if there are two ways to go, left and right, and you're determined to go right, there's nothing you can do with your free will to go left.
What's determining you to go right, though?
God.
Oh, no, I agree with Peter on that. If that's the case, then there's no free will. Yeah, but I'm saying just generally, broadly speaking, compatibilist is going to say if you determined yourself. That's to say, if your desire explains why you went right.
No. That's not Calvinism. Calvinism is that God has determined everything. So once you're born and God has determined that you're going to die an atheist and burn in hell for eternity, that's going to happen. And there's nothing you can do to change that.
Okay, so where we agree is something like if I chose right rather than left in that fork on the road, but God further explains directly that behavior, then I have no free will. There's just no desire. The desire is no longer explanatory. Okay, so I'm right there with you, right? But I think Calvinists would say God set it up such that you desired to go left rather than right, and I think that can preserve a compatibilist free will.
To me, it's still a cop-out. And I'm not saying that you're making the cop-out. I'm saying that the religion makes the cop-out. Either everything's determined, either everything's determined, which also includes your choices. Because if everything is determined, your choices are determined as well. So you have no free will.
Yeah, but there are two senses of determined, right? Like, for instance, if A causes B and B causes C and C causes D, okay, A participates in the outcome of D, okay, but A doesn't cause D directly, and so what they're going to do, the Calvinists are going to do, is going to say God is like A there. He's not in between each causal connection.
Say that again?
Okay, so if we say A causes B and B causes C, just for simplicity's sake, I'm saying A causes B, B causes C. If A is in that causal chain of the outcome of C, A participates in the outcome of C, but A doesn't directly cause C. That's B. B causes C. Okay? So that's so what the compatibilist can do, what the Christian compatibilist in this case can say, is that God would represent A here. But then you're right, there's a different form of compatibilism that's saying A causes B and B causes C, and then there's this further kind of causation in between each causal connection that further explains the effects. Okay? And then that undermines free will for me, because that actually explains why you get C. It's not that B explains C, it's that there's some other further factor above and beyond B to C that is God.
Yeah, and in Calvinism, at least the way Will explained it to me, God would be A, you would be B, and C would be whatever happens in your life. So God will cause you to choose what will be the end result.
Yeah, but that's fine. Okay, so I think that's fine. Like God is responsible for my desires, but the behaviors that follow my desires, I'm responsible for because they're my actions.
Not if they're predetermined. They're not.
Okay. Well, let's just agree to disagree. I'm glad we had a good conversation.
It's like a good analogy would be a train. You have the ability to move forward, but where you're going is determined by the rails that you're on. And if God is controlling the rails and the switches, then all you can do is you can go forward.
Did you understand the secondary kind of explanation where, like, if A causes B, B causes C, but then there's something in between each causal connection that further explains each outcome, that undermines free will?
It might explain an outcome. What I'm saying is you do not have a choice for a different outcome. And that, to me, is free will, that you can determine a choice that has a different outcome. If the outcome is fixed, there's nothing you can do. You might get there through another way, but you will still get to the same outcome.
Okay.
If that makes any sense. If I put you in a very big room with one door you can get out of, you can do whatever you want in that room. You're still going to leave through that one single door that's there. If I do not offer you a second door to choose from.
I think that what we're talking about right now cannot be solved in the next hour. So if you want to...
No, I agree. And I'm also not a Calvinist, so I would be piss poor at explaining how Calvinism works.
But I like that guy. I think the guy that you were talking about, I seem to remember liking him.
He's a really nice guy. And he's got a good sense of humor. I always tease him because he's a Tottenham Hotspur fan.
His name is Will, right?
Yeah, that's a football club in the UK. He's American, and I always tease him that he doesn't have any taste in sports.
My brother's a Calvinist, so.
But Will is a good guy to talk to. He doesn't get offended. Really nice guy.
Yeah, he seems really chill. I tried to convince my brother out of Calvinism. I couldn't do it.
And suddenly, nothing happened. We killed the whole room. Even Leo.
Even
that
you,
has to
Leo.
be a first.
I'm trapping bugs, so I'm kind of busy.
Fucking weirdo.
Well, I got to feed my Venus flytrap, and I have to have bugs for my microscope. I'm sorry.
You know what's really funny is I thought about the parallel between Jesus' resurrection and abiogenesis. And now that I think about it, actually, it's really analogous, right? Because the point of abiogenesis is that you have something non-living that becomes living, and resurrection is just that too, right? That you have something not alive becoming alive.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I didn't think about that. That's not why I thought they were parallel. But I retrospectively, after our discussion earlier today.
Well, maybe if it took 300 million years for Jesus to be resurrected, I might think about it a little bit. But
yeah, but you see, look, would y'all really think that? Would y'all really become theists if you found out the Earth was like 3,000 years old?
No.
I mean, why couldn't you just say that? Like every
Really?
Speed. But
Why?
honestly, the Bible says 3 days. But how long is a day for God? Do we know?
Yeah, I know.
Wait,
But
Speed. Why?
It's because of the impossibility of geological formations to form.
It's not impossible.
No,
Yeah,
it's
it is.
absolutely impossible.
No, it's not.
Impossible.
Impossible.
How?
There is no way. I mean, if you understand anything about geology at all, or even biology and abiogenesis, there's no way that this stuff can happen.
Wait. Okay, let me get this straight. You're saying that if we were wrong about all our assumptions and science found out that all these rock layers, the Earth is 3,000 years old or 10,000 years or whatever, you think therefore God?
Yeah, everything would collapse.
It just doesn't follow, though.
All of science would collapse if any of that was true.
It just does not follow. You would be irrational.
Talk to Orge about geology.
No. I'm saying that
geologist.
Orge should agree with me.
I think, well, yeah, it's impossible for the geology to exist in that last 2,000 years. But I think kind of what he's saying is that's like a few steps back in the process, If all these other walls come down, that's the next pot he falls in.
No, I find myself in agreement with Danny, and I feel really bad about that. But he's actually right.
Yeah, you're not a scientist, Peter.
No. What he's saying is, if the science is wrong, it doesn't automatically default to a god.
Yeah, but
there might be other possibilities.
Well, there are other possibilities, but they're almost impossible for us to imagine, right? Like,
no, it's not.
Okay, wait, hang on a second now. If 3,000 years ago, everything like from some other plane of existence just fell into existence the way it is right now, right? The way it's set up, it would still be a stretch because of the causal links that you can see in the structure of things, right? But I mean, I could accept that maybe some weird ass thing happened, like a time loop, like maybe some race in the future decide basically, okay, there's a race in the future that would not exist unless it created itself in the past. So we have a perfect loop.
Look, this is perfectly plausible, right? Or not plausible, but like this is not inconceivable. Is what I'm trying to say. That's that geology right now could be just a giant conspiracy. Okay.
Well,
no one here except maybe Orge or except Orge. Except Orge, no one here has gone out and tested the dating method, the dating things on these rocks.
Right.
Okay. It could be a conspiracy. So if we found out today, it's geology, the branch of geology is a conspiracy, you're telling me, Speed, you just convert?
That wouldn't work. That wouldn't work because we've got layers of diatomaceous earth. We know how that is formed, and we know that the amount of diatoms cannot live at one time.
Why are we not granting the hypothetical?
Yeah, you're just saying that you're denying the hypothetical. Look, the hypothetical is that it's all science is a conspiracy. They were trying to control our minds. Okay, that's the hypothetical.
Yeah, there are no diatoms, even though we've seen them. That somehow they fooled us.
You've seen
to do with anything.
Look, have you done any dating thing? Have you dated anything yourself, Speed?
No, I haven't dated anything, but I've looked at diatoms.
I did. I've dated a few women. Does that count?
No.
Peter, that's the funniest thing I've heard in a while. Okay.
but it isn't just radioactive dating. It's the way the geological layers are formed and the size of the structures. I mean, I grew up around rocks all of my life, mining pits, right, that are 1,000 feet deep, and looked at all these formations, and there's just no way that I could fathom that being created in 2,000 years.
Yeah, but then let's say Orge, who's part of this conspiracy, tells you the truth and says, look, this is how it works. This is why it's only 10,000 years old, okay? And he gives you the evidence. He gives you the evidence. You're going to be like,
riveting.
Okay, sure.
Also, Speed, I have to play devil's advocate. If you say there's no way I could fathom that's the argument from ignorance fallacy, or
Yeah, it is.
personal
Well,
incredulity.
no, it's the argument from what I know. I can't imagine how it
Which
could have
is
possibly happened.
Yeah, that's
the
the argument from
argument.
incredulity. I don't know
Yes.
how it could have happened, therefore it didn't happen.
Yeah, it is. It's an argument from incredulity,
So,
and
yeah,
I
you
think
have
it's a valid
fallacious-
argument because it's incredible. I mean, it's just like I mean,
damn,
it would basically say that everything that I know is not true, and I think that is bullshit because I've looked at a lot of this shit, and no,
I have to conclude.
It's a
I have to
conspiracy.
conclude. Hold on. I have to conclude that Jesus is real. It's Easter, and everyone is on Danny's side attacking Speed.
Yeah,
Jesus has to be
that
real.
is. No,
that's the only explanation.
And it's the reason I'm a naturalist. It's because everything hashes out, right? That believing it was a conspiracy would be a far bigger mountain to climb
It has
than
nothing to do with
believing what I know
naturalism.
about how things naturally happen.
It has
and
nothing to do with
everything
naturalism.
works.
Look, it's so surprising. I hope this conspiracy really is. That way, I could debate Speed as an atheist while he defends the Bible. You know, or theism. Oh my gosh, Jorge, please let me know if there's kind of some weird conspiracy that we don't know about, because I'm gonna reveal it all, and then I will debate Speed
You
on
guys
theism.
aren't at the level to where I can reveal the truth. So, you know, you think Masons have a lot of levels. I have billions of years of levels. So it takes a while.
Yeah, it's good.
I would love to debate you, Speed, on whether God exists.
On whether God exists.
You think God exists? You think if it's 6,000 years old, therefore God exists?
It's absolute nonsense that God could exist at all.
Not if it's 6,000 years old.
So I
That's
guess-
your view.
Yeah, but what if the Earth was 6,000 years old?
Well, I would believe that something magical happened, like a Vindaloop or something like that.
Of the
It would have
leprechauns
to be
and the
magical.
unicorns.
You're a naturalist who, if they found out that their model was drastically wrong, wouldn't just assume it must be some other natural mechanism I don't know about yet.
Yep.
Oh
Because if I found out that the Earth was 6,000 years old, I wouldn't. It's nothing to do with God. Okay, so
Same here.
The methods that we use to come to that conclusion obviously
Well,
don't
it could,
work.
it
Let's
could be
re-examine this and see what
It
happens.
could be Houdini. It could be Houdini. It could
Yeah,
be a
but
bunch
see,
of
I don't
witches,
default to
you know?
the idea that I was wrong, therefore it must have been magic.
And it could still not be the Christian God because he's self-contradicting according to the Bible. So
I think
that wouldn't work.
The problem is that a lot of people do not understand my naturalism.
What does it have to do with naturalism?
It has everything to do with it. It has everything to do with basically my understanding of naturalism. It is inconceivable for there to be any other possibility. Inconceivable.
I can't.
No, I don't think you
Inconceivable.
understand that we're presenting a hypothetical.
I don't care about your hypothetical. I can present a hypothetical that the bunny created me this morning or last Thursday, right? That's a hypothetical, but it's nonsense. You know, it's nonsense.
It's nonsense.
And also, I'm going to jump over. I'm going to jump over to Camp Speed. If God interacts with the world, and the moment He forms something, it is natural. So then that automatically makes that there should be
I guess
a natural explanation for it.
I might believe in like last Thursdayism, where everything was just created in place for some fucking reason.
Okay, yeah. So it doesn't entail God. That's what you just admitted.
No, it doesn't entail a human-like deity. So no, that's even more ridiculous. So.
Okay,
You're right.
okay.
You're right. You're right.
Making progress.
Okay, I guess I was sort of misunderstanding where you were coming from. So yeah, you're right.
Now we're going to have Danny talk with Speed on scientism.
Yeah,
I'm going to end up yelling at Speed, and that's just going to happen.
I'll be there to keep things nice and calm.
I would just like to
I
point
can't
out
reason with
that you guys teased me with geology and then did no geology, and that's very rude of all of you.
Okay, Jorge, guess what? This has to do with geology. I'm thinking about decorating my downstairs with geodes.
I would suggest it. It sounds expensive, maybe.
Really? No, I found some ones on Amazon for like $100.
Well,
yeah, that's expensive.
Why would you decorate your penis with geodes?
Are you independently wealthy, Danny?
What? Yeah, I am. I'm rich. I make more money than not like 90% of the world, like 99% of the world.
Really? On teaching?
Is that a Gucci vest over there on your door?
Is that true?
It should be. No,
Teachers get paid that
I
much?
think the top 1% of the world makes $33,000 or above.
What? No, it's more like 140.
Wait, hold on. Wait,
Okay, let me
no.
check.
Which metric are we measuring this along?
How much money you make a year? I think it's like $140,000 or something. It's the top
The
90.
top 1% in the world of income earners. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, how much?
I'm verifying it. I looked it up a long time ago, and
Isn't it like 100 and something $1,000?
it's like 30, 35, 40, something like that.
Oh, in the world. Oh,
In the world,
Yeah, he's
yes.
talking world, not America, not
I have to check.
Western.
I have to check.
Yeah, that would be a different metric.
Yeah, I'm saying that I'm richer than like 95% of people in the world. I can afford a geode.
Can you afford to decorate in geode though?
A decorative geode? I mean,
Can you decorate in geode?
No, I'm just gonna put it like on my like table or something.
Oh yeah, sure, do that.
His idea of decoration is buying one geode and placing it somewhere. That's it.
You're a bad geologist.
Well,
And the bad decorator as well.
What are you all talking about? That was a good idea. Does anybody else have thought of this?
It might be a good idea. It's not decorating.
Wait,
it's
what about-
putting a geode somewhere.
That is
That's what
I
it
don't
is.
know.
Geodes
That's
all
what I mean
over.
to decorate. Yeah, that or jellyfish with a lava lamp.
God, you are terrible at decorating.
What jellyfish?
No,
with
I feel like Danny's just going more for like a 70s vibe. Retro.
I think he's going for a shitty vibe.
Wait,
I'm
can
more
your
of a
jellyfish easy to keep?
rustic country. I
Are
don't
jellyfish
know.
easy to keep? Can you eat them? I could breed them and eat them.
I wouldn't want to eat them. You're not going to get much out of it.
That's what my Chinese girlfriend says. They eat everything over there.
That sounds really racist.
No, it's true. She tells me.
Danny, can you do me a huge favor?
I got a
really
black
quick?
friend who tells me these things.
Yeah.
Can you stand up and show me the rest of your shirt?
I'm gonna go check the
Okay.
bugs.
You
Going
have
to check
pants on,
the
right? Okay, thank God.
I'm king of the north.
Burn
you don't
it.
want it.
Burn that shirt.
Lieutenant Cherie, burning at the stake.
It's like
That
the
must
only shirt
never
I
be
wear with
seen by anyone.
It's also a fake bird.
Wasn't a bird on the shirt, Peter. That was a wolf.
Diode.
Wait, you thought I was gonna decorate a whole wall with geode?
Yeah, that's what I said you were rich.
Who would have thought that? Did anybody else? Is that what everyone else thought? Like,
No,
I was like-
I didn't think
No.
that. I don't know where geologist minds go.
wait,
but-
how could you have thought that? When I told you how much it was, $100, you said that was expensive.
Yeah, because I thought you would pay $100 per geode to fill your wall with geodes.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, put a geode on a. How do you consider decorating? Putting something on a table isn't decorating a room.
I don't know. I guess
I
you
don't
and
decorate. I don't decorate my dining room when I eat my dinner.
You don't?
No,
What?
I sit down and eat my dinner. The plate isn't decoration in the room.
Look, do you never put like one of those apron? What are those things that you put on tables? A tablecloth. That's decorative.
Yeah, apron,
Yeah, I don't do
apron is
that.
what you put on your girlfriend.
Well, you're making me sound crazy. People do tablecloths, Orge. You're the crazy one.
Yeah,
No, they
people
don't.
do
No one does tablecloths. That's a lie.
They do. They
Yeah,
do
a
Thanksgiving,
tablecloth-
Halloween,
Danny,
Christmas.
Danny,
no,
Danny,
conspiracy.
a tablecloth isn't there to be decorative. A tablecloth is there just in case you spill something and you don't ruin the table.
That's just false. That's just so false.
No,
Why would
no.
Be so narrow-minded. It can be both.
Right. They're not mutually
No, it can't.
exclusive.
Conspiracy. Tablecloth.
A tablecloth. What a tablecloth does is whatever you're using the fucking tablecloth to do. If you're using it as a
Leo,
blanket,
I,
it's a
look,
fucking blanket.
Leo, that was my original response, but these people have PTSD on like the philosophy stuff, so I tried to like talk like a normal person.
Speed, especially, you can't get over this fucking scientism hill, and this is.
Yeah, I think honestly he needs tough love. You need to yell at him.
I've
Think
wanted to
about it.
choke him out so many times now, but
I'll do it. I'll strangle him.
He
please.
seems to think that naturalism and scientism are like intertwined in some way. and
You
they're
guys,
not.
you guys need to learn how to come at it with logic and reasoning, and not come at it with bullshit.
What is logical, probable, and plausible?
Hey, this guy gets it. This guy internets.
I know.
What am I watching, Top Dog?
Wait, what is Top Dog playing?
All I want is for Speed's worldview to make sense, and it doesn't.
Funny that you should say that. I've got an Easter
Oh, boy.
egg for when we're off air, and that's pretty much summing it up. Speed's
Okay.
world.
Well, I'm playing.
Y'all should watch my I responded. I did a video review on Braxton's 10 questions for atheists. I did a video on that, so if you're interested, you should watch it.
Well, the game I'm playing is called Wanted Raccoon.
Oh.
It's very raccoony.
Leo, do you know how much time I spend trying to look at your glasses to see what you're doing on your computer? I just can't. It's not quite there. I can't manage it. Just stay really
You will
still.
never find out.
I still.
Well, we what we can tell is that he's not looking at Pornhub because it's too light.
I know. I actually, that's true. I can confirm that.
I don't go to Pornhub.
It might be on dark mode, so we don't know.
Yeah, my YouTube's on dark mode.
It is the best way to tube.
It is.
Yep.
My Twitter's on dark
I
mode.
gotta go to Pornhub, so take care.
Do y'all want to know
Right.
something really funny?
Take care.
It's not that funny because I kind of maybe LPP helped me, but I identified
that is a logical impossibility.
No, he
for
actually helped me with something.
For LPP to help you on anything.
Well, I was an agnostic before I met any of y'all. I called myself an agnostic, and then I heard LPP.
An agnostic
hate,
what?
Yeah, I was agnostic to the God proposition, but I
an agnostic what? Agnostic theist or an agnostic atheist?
He was an agnostic. Agnostic.
Yeah, well, look, I
One
don't
who
want to
suspends judgment on the proposition God exists.
Okay, that's not the point. Let's get the point. The point is this, right? I did not want to label myself as an atheist. I just didn't. I hated the label, but I probably was, for all practical purposes, an atheist. But I labeled myself as agnostic. But then, when I heard the way I got here, guys, is I listened to a debate with John Maddox, and I was fascinated. I was just fascinated by John Maddox, right? And so I
Have
knew
you seen
that
a doctor about that?
I knew that he hates agnostics more than he hates atheists, like, or something like that. Like, he has a big problems with agnostics. So when I went into stream, I don't want to say I lied, but I just dodged the whole bullet. I would say I'm an atheist rather than saying agnostic, because I knew that in the second that I said agnostic, I would have been like, I would have gotten some hate, right? So that's how I became an atheist.
John's got some
That was
words
so
for some agnostics.
I started taking that label because of John Maddox. Otherwise, I would have labeled myself as an agnostic.
It's kind of interesting that John does not like when people say that they don't know about something, hence, even though that's an intellectually honest
But
answer.
the thing is that I'm not being dishonest, right? Like, I actually think that I think the technical term is I'm a local atheist, which means that, like, I reject one particular conception of God, namely the omni-God. Okay, I have no clue whether it's, I don't know whether, like, some.
Danny,
like,
you rolling up joints?
No, I have magnets. Let me show you my magnets.
So you're not rolling joints? Wow.
I bought them in
Sad.
the kids section of Amazon.
Sad.
Oh,
You're
there we go.
playing with little magnetic beads like a child instead of rolling joints like a man.
Well, he's a philosopher, so they're children at heart. So remember.
I'm curious, Danny. Do you believe in leprechauns?
Oh no.
Do you disbelieve one particular leprechauns or all leprechauns?
I think I would reject
I didn't
leprechauns.
know there were different types.
I mean, there could be leprechauns in some distant universe, but if you're asking me, like, do I think there's leprechauns in my room? I think not. I reject that.
For the exact same reason I don't believe in any gods.
Yeah, but I think those are. I don't think that's an equivalence there. Like, because I think
why isn't it?
Because I think leprechauns generate predictions. I don't think God generates predictions.
That will rule out.
Wow.
miracles.
Okay, that's interesting because I think, well, at least D'Angelo would say that God does generate predictions. Well,
yeah, I don't.
I'm not sure D'Angelo could say that because I'm not sure his mind is really that get into logic.
Yeah, I don't think God generates predictions, which means there's nothing I could observe that could confirm him or disconfirm him. But there are things I can observe that can disconfirm a leprechaun. Right?
So I've got a hypothesis. I think Otangelo is on the fence, and that is why he's now joined Darth Dawkins to become a presuppositionalist, because he's losing faith.
I actually think Otangelo is not. I think he's gonna flirt with it and then realize that it's black magic, and then like let go of it.
Has any of you watched the what is it, Supreme Leader channel, and then watched how Otangelo is doing role play with Darth?
What do you mean?
Say what now?
He's doing role play with Darth. Yes.
What do you mean by role play?
Otangelo's the atheist.
Oh my God. Where can I get access to this stuff?
What is it?
I can
mock debates or something. They have mock debates. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Mock debates are
Angelo is being groomed by Darth. Oh boy.
Oh my God, that would be fun to watch.
I agree.
What is the name of that channel again?
Supreme Leader Streams.
Yep.
So, like, what are these just in Darth Dawkins' atheist helpline, or what?
Yep.
Okay. Which one was he in?
I think it is this one. I put it in the chat. I think this one I saved also because he says Leo is an idiot, and I want to grab that from my soundboard.
He doesn't like me at all.
No, he doesn't.
Well,
he doesn't.
you got the reason you were educated is because you were a disenfranchised minority. We'll put it that way.
That was Smokey.
Are you over this?
I think Maddox probably shares a similar view.
Speed, are you over this?
Peter was talking about Otangelo.
No. Darth said that. Not Otangelo. Darth said Leo's an idiot, and I want that from my soundboard. Just to throw it in when I'm in hangouts like this and you're present.
Speed, are you over this?
Darth saying.
Speed, are you over this Pine Creek thing?
Yeah.
Okay, well I'm over it, so we don't have to talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know. There are a few more gems there, but I haven't watched it all. I just spotted around and found.
Well, like with respect to what I said to Pine Creek, are you over that?
What do you mean?
Like, do you still you don't think I said anything disagreeable, right?
Yeah, I do.
Really?
But let me listen to it again and try to. Let's talk about it tomorrow on the weather report. I don't have the bandwidth right now, but okay. I just. Andrew and I both listened to it, and we found it to be kind of a ridiculous comparison. So anyway,
do you think you can compare a rapist and Gandhi?
Racist and what? Where did that come from?
I'm asking. It has to do with this, right?
I suppose you could if you wanted.
Yeah, they're both. A rapist is human, and Gandhi's a human. Therefore, they're analogous.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Okay.
So that's all you meant. It's just that you don't want to, you do not want to bring that shit to guys like us. You want to. You could have used something else, couldn't you have? Couldn't you find something?
You're wrong.
The point is that it was I'm saying that what Pine Creek's reason was for rejecting the resurrection is flawed reasoning would also apply to the rejection of abiogenesis. That's what I was trying to argue.
Okay, if you're coming from that direction, but
what was his argument against the resurrection?
Because resurrections are a rare event and we don't see them, therefore it's improbable that it happened.
Yeah, but there's stuff to unpack there about abiogenesis, and I understand that you don't understand that subject, but we could unpack that tomorrow, and because it's really important. It's really important to this whole criticism of evolution and abiogenesis to understand how it unpacks.
I was criticizing Pine Creek. I mean, Leah, you understand, right? That if you just say that X event is rare, therefore it's improbable, what an improbable explanation all things being equal.
Let me see.
Well, the idea is that an improbable explanation only makes sense when you're when you have a phenomena to explain. Okay, so for instance, if I shot someone in the head and I took their pulse and they had no pulse and no heartbeat, okay, and then I scanned their brain, no brain scan, and then I leave the room, I come back, and then they're up and they're like wanting to talk with me. Perfectly plausible explanation is that they resurrected. I know, and that it does not matter that it rarely happens. The point is that it's an appropriate explanation for that context.
What do you mean?
So, what makes a good explanation or that has to take into account the phenomena that you're trying to explain. There's no such thing as a bad explanation in itself. It's only going to be a bad or a good explanation with respect to the event or the phenomena that you're trying to explain.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So resurrections are great explanations in certain contexts, and in otherwise they're not. And in other instances they're not. Abiogenesis would not be a good explanation for why my cheese got moldy. Okay? But it's a great explanation for whatever the hell happened 3.5 billion years ago. So
you're just saying that resurrection is an explanation?
I'm saying that you can't say that because an event, you don't see an event often, therefore it's an improbable explanation to invoke, right? Because what makes it a good or a bad explanation depends on what you're trying to explain.
Okay, yeah, I get what you're saying.
Try to look at things in less of a linear.
No, I mean it's a logarithmic. Don't worry, it's not linear.
A skinny chain-like linear line of events.
I told you it's hypothetical. What's it called? It's asymptotic. Don't worry about it. Okay, it's a hypothetical.
Asymptotic.
Yeah, asymptotic. It's logarithmic. It's all. Don't worry, it's not linear. Don't worry.
Still worried. Still worried.
What a kind of response is that?
That is a
dismissive
response.
you. We care for you very much and your bizarre view of scientism.
Yeah, you know, Immutable, we'll talk tomorrow and I can point out to you that, you know, how you reason about this stuff. And do you understand that you have things to learn, right? Do you understand that?
Yes,
do you feel like we're bullying old men?
What's that? What did you say, Immutable?
So do you.
I do, yes. And do you understand that you do?
Yeah.
And do we both understand that we can teach each other a trick or two?
Sure.
Okay, then. Good.
Yeah, but you got to be willing to listen.
You've been around this long and are making such a basic mistake. So, yeah.
Okay, so that just discounts what we just said, right?
No, I can admit to having learned things, but it's amazing to me that you've been around this long and the things you've learned have brought you to this type of conclusion.
I know it really is surprising. It takes a whole lot of unpacking. I understand that.
I'm really surprised that, like, one of the I find it. No, I don't. I know you're talking to Speed, but usually when I find someone that espouses scientism, most people, after just saying something like math, they quickly realize that, oh no, I don't want to say that, right? But it's just interesting that that does not a reason for Speed to get.
Danny, I ran that by my friend who's a professor. He teaches philosophy and he teaches logic in college, and he said that scientism is widely accepted.
No, it's not widely accepted. That's not true. The only philosopher that I know that widely.
Okay, why does he have this opinion? And he is a learned man who teaches, philosophy and logic, and he teaches logic really, really deeply. Like all kinds of logic. So he knows a lot. He's really intelligent.
Look, I don't expect you to believe.
Why does he have this opinion? You can't just I was surprised that he said that because I thought
me too. You should be incredulous.
But no, he made the case. So
No,
that-
no. Most philosophers
Widely
do not
accepted.
accept scientism.
And the other thing that's widely accepted is strong physicalism. Basically,
That's
widely
true.
accepted.
That is true. That is widely accepted. Okay, but what's not true is scientism is not a serious view in philosophical literature.
Well,
it is not.
the thing is that we have a word, so we made a squeaky noise, scientism, right? And you have one meaning.
You don't have the
for it.
bandwidth for this. Remember.
Okay, you have one meaning for it, and immutable has another meaning for it, and I have a different meaning.
I don't.
Okay, so
And
then
we
let's get
established
our
that.
terms clear.
Right.
Right. All I mean by scientism
All
is
things
that
all things can best be known through science. That was my claim. That's my scientism.
yeah, that's scientism as I understand it. So we're not equivocating. Okay.
Yeah, but when immutable started to unpack it, he came up with something that I didn't agree with.
I just wanted to show that this is from the American Philosophical Association. This
You got a
is-
link? You got a link?
Yes,
Leo?
this is by Massimo Pigliucci, who is a pretty renowned philosopher.
Yeah, he's a putz. Okay,
sure,
can you give me a
whatever.
link to that?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, the only philosopher of science that I am aware of even coming close to scientism that I respect is Alex Rosenberg. And the guy is, I mean, I respect him, but he's nutty, absolutely nutty, okay? He's a very smart individual. He writes really well. I have one of his books. I'm reading it, okay? But he I think, adopts a form of scientism. So if you really want to defend scientism, look into Rosenberg's work and then come at me. That's the only one I know off the top of my head. Most naturalists are not scientists. Scientists, sorry.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it just puts you in a
because
lot of
they're-
rabbit holes. They're very hard to get out of.
It's because
Yeah,
they're weak. They're weak.
And Dr. Schroeder, the department chair of Rice University, distinguishes look, there's the empirical sciences and there's philosophy, and here's the division. So you can watch that.
I don't think I've heard Speed throughout our conversation say that his scientism could be overturned or could be wrong.
I mean, then you could also be doing what Leo did a long time ago, is define science as so broadly that everyone's going to accept what you're saying. Right? So that could be what's going on. In which case, if you define science as
that's a clue. That's a clue.
well, it's just not interesting to redefine science in a way where that which
It
you can
becomes
know.
trivial, doesn't it?
Right, exactly. It becomes trivial in the context of scientism, because scientism is just saying the way you come to know things is the method in which you need to come to know things.
See, I think the thing is the difference is how I approach the mind and what I think of the mind, and I have a completely naturalistic physical view of the mind, and it's pretty well hashed out.
So what? Why therefore scientism?
Because most things that humans are concerned with have to do with how we work, basically what we are as organisms. And so science is the best way to understand what we are as organisms.
Look, okay, so let me level with you. Let me level with you on the naturalism stuff, but I'll tell you how they usually respond. So it is true that what naturalists think is something like that which exists is that which can be approached by the natural sciences. But the reason why they don't take a scientism approach is because there are other things that we talk about that don't exist. For instance, math. So most naturalists are anti-realist about numbers and propositions, and they're what you call a nominalist. Okay, so there's nothing to approach. Like when we're saying how should we approach math, in terms of how it works. Well, the naturalist is going to say those things don't exist. There's nothing to approach.
Bingo! I believe that abstracts are natural.
No, they're not. They don't even think that there's
physical.
anything. No. The naturalists, a lot of naturalists are nominalists, which is just to reject mathematical propositions and statements to be something real or something reflective of the world.
Okay, and I'm not.
they're conventional in some sense, maybe.
Okay, they're very much completely physical and completely explainable with science.
Yeah, no, a lot of naturalists would challenge you on that. Not just me. Even naturalists are going to challenge you on that, because then they're going to be like, well, look, I mean, like, do you think when you think about a pink unicorn, okay, do you think that's real?
That a pink unicorn is real.
When you think about a pink unicorn, you can imagine it, all this stuff. Do you think the pink unicorn is real?
I don't think pink unicorns are real.
When your concept, your image,
but the abstract is real.
So there is a pink unicorn in your head right now.
There is, yes. He's very big. It kind of looks like Maddox in socks, except he's
having fun?
He's got a big nose.
So we can
Danny,
study.
are you having fun?
Yeah, you guys have fun without me.
What do you mean?
Well,
I don't need
science. You know what's really funny is that commits speed to saying that pink unicorns exist.
Yep.
No,
when he thinks
unicorns
about God, God exists.
And God exists too if you have a concept.
When he thinks about supernatural things, supernatural things
The
exist.
leprechauns exist. Everything exists because it's in your head. Why not just accept the nominalist position and say those things don't exist?
Because I can't. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm not a nominalist either.
Because there are two different ways of coming at that proposition. Do pink unicorns exist? And it would be a category error to conflate the two, and you just did that. But I really don't want to have this discussion tonight, okay?
Just fine. I'll drop it.
Can I stop?
Yeah, I'll drop it. I've told
Thank
you I'll drop it. I'll drop it.
Okay, you guys talk about something else. I got something to check on here. Well, dead air isn't going to fucking work, guys. What the fuck?
What?
Boy, you can't last 5 seconds with us not talking? Jesus.
Well, I can respond to what Odin Allfarther said. Science is physics. Well, physics is a science. Science is very much metaphysical.
Oh, well, really? That's interesting.
Certain parts of science, I guess, but not all of it.
Well, I would argue that science is sort of like contained within metaphysics.
Then, okay, but then there's the metaphysics of metaphysics, then, right?
Metaphysics?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like the whole point of the word meta there is to say that there's something over and above, like, the physics, right?
Yeah, I would argue that's the thing, and then physics is an extension of that.
Kind of like string theory.
I don't know I wonder if it's a terminological dispute.
Well, string theory is, I would argue, it's quite metaphysical because it's both abstract and very mathematical.
Well, and it kind of lays out the groundwork for potential, like, for different types of physics, I guess you could say.
Who is this Odin person?
I don't know.
I really don't know. That's a very good question.
Same with the person who's Hunter Channel. I don't know who that is.
I don't know Hunter Channel.
I can't wait till my new MacBook gets here. Oh, it's gonna be so.
What do you got? What are you getting, Leo?
I'm getting. I think it's a 2017 officially refurbished MacBook Pro 13. It's got the i7 Intel Core i7, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and 512 gigabytes of storage. Oh, so it should be, and since it's newer, it should be a little bit faster than the one that I have now.
2017 should be pretty adequate.
You're on a Mac
I have
right
a 20, No.
I've got a 2014 and a 20
that I use for doing my videos and whatnot. It's a 2012, and it's old,
This
and
is
it's kind of a 94.
2021.
Yeah, you can go fuck yourself.
You got a 2021?
Yeah. Or no, 2020? I don't know. I bought it in 2020. Sorry.
Yeah, I got a 2019. I paid way too much for this shit.
I paid way too much too, but I'm gonna buy those new iMacs that come out this year.
Like desktop?
They're coming out with new iMacs.
Like desktop. Like not a laptop, a desktop.
Not a
computer.
laptop, desktop. Yeah.
I want to get a tower because I can hook up 16 4K monitors to a tower.
Why would you need that?
Why
What
would
do you
you
need
want
that for?
Why do you need to be on here, Leo?
Why do I need to be on where?
On this stream.
Because it'll be circular.
Huh?
Because I can be.
Well, then there's
And I
answer
am.
that way. Yeah, just answer that way. Speed. Just say that you need it because you can.
I can, right? Exactly.
You can.
I just wanna.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. People, I mean, not. This is not a serious criticism of you at all, but like, people tell me like because I do like spend. I just buy random stuff. Like I bought these magnets, and if someone would tell me why, I'm like, what do you mean? Like, well, you don't.
Why does there have to be a reason?
Well, rather, when they say, why do you need that? That seems like to imply, like, I should only buy things that, like, are conducive to my survival and reproduction. I'm like, this is not fucking natural selection. Like, this is just me having fun.
Mm-hmm. Nothing wrong with that.
Does Sam Harris really say this? That basically, what the hell did he say? That only science can provide an answer to all moral questions?
Yes, he does say something like that.
Well, I bet he doesn't mean that.
That's kind of stupid.
No, he basically says, if you're asked the question, should you put your hand on a stove? He's like, let's test it. Put your hand on the stove. Oh, you didn't like it, therefore you shouldn't do it. Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's his example. I think that's his exact example. But I haven't read The Moral Landscape. I don't want to waste my time. But I probably should read it because people are interested in it. No, I won't.
I don't read books by Sam Harris.
I just read a quote by Sam Harris. I think it's wonderful. I'm convinced that every appearance of the terms like metaethics and deontology, etc., directly increases the amount of boredom in the universe.
I don't know. They're kind of interesting concepts.
What's bored?
To get anywhere.
I find it interesting, but I mean, it was just funny. But
I think the only good book Sam Harris has ever written, according to some people, and I've only read a little bit of it, is his book on free will. I think it's called Free Will.
Harris had a book on free will?
Probably the only book worth reading. But I'm not
What did you think of Dennett's book on free will?
I haven't read. I just bought Consciousness Explained. So I've read a little bit of Consciousness Explained, and I'm like, oh well, if I'm serious about learning philosophy of mind, I have to at least
start with that.
Yeah, I at least got to read Dennett because people are so interested in Dennett. If no one was interested in Dennett, I wouldn't read it.
You got to read Chalmers and Yeguan.
I've read a little bit of Chalmers.
Kim. Yeguan.
Yeah, Wagon King. Kim. Yeah.
Yeah. That philosopher I mentioned that said that scientism is that popular. His father, or basically teacher, was Kim. So.
Oh, really? That's so cool. Kim just died like last year.
Oh, no shit.
He died last year, I think. Let me check.
God damn it.
He's
how do you say Yeguan?
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, I say Jawan or something like that. I just kind of like Yeah. He died. No. Sorry, the 27th of 2019. So that was recent.
Holy
I remember him. I mean, we lost a lot of philosophers in the last 4 years. So we lost Jerry Fodor, right? And that was in 2017, I believe. We lost Derek Parfit, which is also in 2017. Who else have we lost? There was that the philosopher that came up with the violin thought experiment to defend pro-choice. What's her name? Thompson? Last name Thompson, I think. She died like last year. There's some others. Then the Kim died. And then we got people like, Kripke is like 80 years old or something, 77, 78, so he doesn't have long. And then
I don't know.
You don't know that you think he might live longer?
Some of them last like their 90s.
Some of them too. Well, I think there was one more that died that it was surprising.
Danny, what do you think about Noam Chomsky?
Oh, I think he's brilliant. I don't know a lot about. I mean, he does a lot. I don't know anything about linguistics though, so I think that's where most of his contribute. But I think what I have studied him for is his response to behaviorism.
Okay.
I think he gives a really good responses to Skinner's behaviorism.
And a lot of people have kind of responded to behaviorism. It's kind of a laughing stock of biology or
Well,
psychology.
you know what's really funny is that Fodor takes Chomsky's reply to behaviorism and say, "Hey, this also works against natural selection." And
really?
That's the beginning of the book of Fodor's book on what Darwin got wrong. Is just saying, "Hey, my argument is just like Chomsky's essentially. The whole behaviorism operant learning something conditioning. If you accept those objections, Fodor argues that you better accept the objections against natural selection, something like that. They're basically almost mirror arguments. That's why I accept them. Because I think if you accept Chomsky, you're going to accept Fodor. If you see the parallel, but you should read about it. It's not that bad. The first part of the book is a bunch of empirical bullcrap that you don't need to read. But it's the beginning, the very intro, chapter 1, and then part 3. After part 3, that's what's worth reading on Fodor.
So, who is Hunter Channel? A Christian? I haven't believed in God for years, but now I want to figure out what I actually believe in. I've been watching hella Ancient Aliens, but I guess there are 80 different atheists. I don't know what any of that means.
Neither do I.
Well, stop being pedantic.
Yeah.
One good atheist
I'm learning, Danny. I'm learning.
Well, one good atheist I would recommend listening to, and he's quite broad spread, like with what he covers, is Cyrus.
Sorry, who?
Cyrus the skeptic.
Or a skeptic? Okay.
Oh, I don't know him.
Yeah.
What did you say you like about him?
Oh, I like most of the stuff that he does. Like some of his political views and.
Where is he? I'm Cyrus. I spelled it like Cyrus.
Cyrus, Suris. Yeah, he has a gender bender kind of like anime character thing.
Oh, he's very political, it seems like.
He gets into atheism and agnosticism as well, but it's kind of interesting.
How much I gotta pay to get out of here, guys?
We can go.
I don't know.
I'm gonna go get some crawfish.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna go get some homemade bacon and BLT, I think.
Homemade bacon?
Well, it's a small meat shop that that brews their own bacon. So.
Oh, so it's homemade, but it's made by a company. Okay.
I've got an Easter egg.
You got an Easter egg?
I've got an Easter egg for when we're offline.
Okay.
Okay. Good night, guys. I'll catch y'all later.
Okay, we're gonna go undead here.
All right.
Goodbye, cruel world.
By the way, really quick for Randolph, Cyrus is an atheist.
Yeah, Cyrus is an atheist.
Okay, we're going backstage. See you guys. Bye, everybody out there.
Stay curious.